Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Everton 0, Liverpool 0 in an absolute snorefest, it must be said. Barring a few moments of brilliance from Naby Keita and Mane, very little happened in the game. Maybe a dicey moment towards the end when Richarlison broke through down the left-hand side on a couple of occasions, namely because of Lovren being an absolute donkey. There really wasn't much else going on in that game. And look, for Liverpool, I don't think it's a big deal. Liverpool are going to be champions. They're probably going to break the points record. But from an Everton point of view, I have to say this. Weakness there is just demonstrated at every single, coming out of every single orifice, personified in them. That is weakness. Liverpool at home is their cup final pretty much every single year. And there was no invention. There was no creativity. There was no desire. There wasn't even really a bad tackle or two. It was an absolutely shocking, weak, fragile, inferior performance from Everton. And their fans right across the globe should be fundamentally embarrassed of the performance, the setup, the desire that was demonstrated. It was just an abysmal watch for a neutral. I have to say, arguably the worst Premier League game I've ever seen. And the reason I say that is this. Technically, there'll be worse games. But this is a Merseyside derby. It's meant to be full of blood, sweat, and thunder. And I get there's no fans. I understand that takes away from the game. But the players could show a little bit of fight. We're going to jump into some fan cams now to see what everybody around the place is thinking and feeling. But for me, absolute bore fest. Hi, Stro. Welcome back to the channel, mate. Obviously, we know you're a Liverpool fan. Give me your thoughts on that game.
Wasted 90 minutes of my life. It's just how I feel. It was just so boring to watch. I mean, Everton, apart from the last 5-10 minutes when Donkey came on, literally just never looked like they wanted to be anywhere near that game. Just sat back, no interest. It was shocking to watch, to be honest. I thought Keita had a good game. That's a positive. I thought Minamino shown glimpses for the first 10-15 minutes, and then he was just isolated out of the game. But it was such a boring game, and I'm just more frustrated than anything. I just feel, obviously, I'm getting to the point now where I know it's done. I just want it done sooner rather than later. And I just feel like I'm starting to get that impatient now. I just want it over the line. I've waited so long for it. And they're just keeping me waiting.
I hear that. I sort of feel like this. Liverpool are killing it. And I'm not, we've spoken many times now. I don't show any disrespect towards Liverpool. I don't show any disrespect towards what they've achieved. But this Liverpool team want to go down in history. And they've got an opportunity to go down in history. Because if they don't, they're in such a strong position to break the points record. And that etches your name into, again, winning the league title is everything. But, there was talk of an invincible season that went. Talk of a treble season that went. You can break records. If you just sort of stumble through this remainder of the season and end up on 95 points, that's amazing. But it's almost like, it could have been so much more. And maybe I'm looking at it from a winner's point of view, thinking maybe I'm being greedy on behalf of Liverpool fans, and maybe none of you care. But it just kind of feels and hear what I'm saying here. You're going to win it not in front of your fans. You're not going to get a parade instantly. And I know you'll get it in 5-6 months and people will still celebrate, but it won't ever feel the same as getting it instantly. To then go out and go, we could have done 110 points, 105 points. We could have broke City's record. We could have done something that staked a massive claim into, we're going to be the biggest team, the best team ever in Premier League history. Are you fearful that the season could just dwindle out and you win it, but it almost has an air of an anticlimax to it? Or am I being unfair?
Yeah. No. I think you're 100% spot on, to be honest. My problem is the one thing I've wanted to avoid throughout this whole process was having to go to the Etihad and get the 3 points there. So obviously if City don't drop any points tomorrow at Burnley, we still need 6 points. And the second game is away at the Etihad. And that was the one thing I didn't want to do, because it's just added pressure that we don't need. And the problem then is if we lose that game to City, then what happens? We're not in a great run of form before the actual when everything got shut down anyway. And it just seems like that seemed like a stroll in the park. And yeah, I understand there's been no football for months and people are rusty. Like Trent didn't look like normal Trent. With his delivery was a bit off and his touch was a bit off. And I completely understand that. But my problem now is if we get beat at the Etihad, what kind of an impact is that going to have going forward? Because, I mean, you've seen it today. No Robertson, no Salah. The forward three, if any of them get an injury, it doesn't look great depth-wise, which is the whole reason why I was frustrated at the fact that we lost out on the Timo Werner thing. And I'm sorry, but if there's ever a time that someone at Liverpool, Michael Edwards-Klopp, needs to think we need a centre-back, it was the 10 minutes that donkey came on the pitch. Absolutely shocking. Yeah. He is awful. His ego is out of control. For him to turn around a year and a half ago and say, I'm the best defender in the world, and come out with shambolic performances like that. I mean, Carragher hit the nail on the head when he turned on. He said he just wants to get involved in a fight with you. Everything's about his ego. He's a joke. How he's at Liverpool Football Club is absolutely beyond me. Awful defender. He wouldn't get into any of the top 6 teams. He's just another David Luiz. That is exactly what he is. He's awful.
Mate, I agree, and I think that's an area that needs to be addressed by Liverpool because, look, you've been majestic this season. I make you favourites for next year, but who knows what happens? Who knows what happens in next season? Van Dijk, inexplicable. You know, we saw what happened to Leno yesterday. Split second, season can be over. Van Dijk drops out, and then Gomez picks up an injury for 2 or 3 months. If you end up next season having to play a 3-month spell with Lovren as your one of your main centre backs, that could be a difference. And I think that for Liverpool not to address it, that would be poor. You know, you can buy a backup player like a Tyrone Mings is better than him, and you could probably pick him up for £25 million if Villa go down as an example. That's what I'm not talking about breaking banks here. It needs to be done. Again, the Liverpool situation is an interesting one because I think you also want to finish the season strong. That's how I feel as a trying to be neutral watching it. You don't want to end the season in this poor run of form and then had the short, because it's going to be a short preseason. I think we're going to see a 6 to 7 week turnaround before the new season begins again, and it'll be money that will dictate that. You almost don't want to start the season on a negative, and it almost feels to me like that could end up being the case with Liverpool. I think what also stood out as well is this ring rust for everybody. And I totally get that. And a lot of and this is why the other night I was pushing back on United fans that wanted to be, this player that, and Fred this, and this ain't good enough. And, the mistake from this player, maybe not the Harry's made a lot. We've seen, even like, I thought Chelsea looked good today. But every single set of fans who've watched their team play have gone, we all look really rusty and poor. We miss good opportunities that we normally would take. We've all made mistakes that we normally wouldn't. There's just this element of everyone needs to relax for the next 2 or 3 games because everybody will get better in that regard. But it was interesting, really. If you were an alien, you came down from space and someone said, Liverpool, best team in the world, watch them play. And you watch that game, you'd go, what? You know, for a second, I thought Roy Hodgson was in charge again. Like it was, and that was more because of what happened. But I actually think as well, Everton were mainly to blame for me. Everton, as I said, their biggest game of the season, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the thing with Everton is whenever the fixtures come out, obviously for Liverpool fans, we look for the big games, the when are we playing you, the Manchester City. Then we look at Everton because it is just a derby, and that's just postcode wise. Like I've never really classed them as our biggest fans, and it's for reasons like this. Whereas as an Everton fan, everything they do is tailored around stopping us somehow. We drew there last year and we missed out on the league by 2 points, and straight away every Everton fan was, we stopped you winning the league. That's like as good as winning a trophy for them, and that's embarrassing. A club the size of Everton are a massive club and could be a huge club if they got everything right. But I'm sorry, the spending's been completely wrong. I mean, Jordan Pickford in that, like, have a word. Like, he's nowhere near good enough to be a top 6 goalkeeper. He's not good enough to be England's number 1. I think that should be Henderson. But Everton, it's just everything they seem to do is tailored around what Liverpool are doing. And don't get me wrong, from I think it was around the 2000 to about the 2013, Liverpool started to look at what Manchester United were doing. And we started to try, what can we do what United are doing? How can we get like United? How can we stop United? And we just fell into a rut. And then obviously Rodgers came in, and then Klopp came in and just went, look, completely forget about history. You need to start focusing on yourselves. Everything needs to do that. They need to find an identity. They honestly do, because the Merseyside derbies Anfield, it's always a good game because they've got nothing to lose, so they just come out and play. But whenever we go to Goodison, it's just like they're scared and
it's weak. It's weak and it's fragile. They've got an inferiority complex. It's almost this element of I get a sense now that Everton fans all across Liverpool are celebrating the draw. We didn't, 100%. They won't look at the context of the break and be like, well, Liverpool score against. I mean, I don't know if is this the only game this season you haven't scored? Well, you didn't score in the Watford game. I don't think.
Not in the Watford game.
You scored in every other game, barring that. I think, as an example, that's what they'll celebrate. That's what Everton fans. We stopped the supposed best Premier League team ever from scoring. Everton fans will make T-shirts. They'll make T-shirts.
More to the point, the players, sorry to cut you off, the players are completely buying into it as well. This means like Richarlison with his comments, oh, well, I'm someone that's dribbled past Van Dijk this season. What does that even mean?
Oh, mate.
Like, what you are meant to be a future Brazil international. You've just been bought for a couple of seasons ago for £50 million. That's not short change. That's a lot of money, especially for a club the size of Everton, right? For you to even come out with a comment like that is a joke. And then you've got someone like Moise Kean when he first came to the club. Oh, I'll be happy if I score 7 goals. What are you doing as a club? Like, how is this allowed? Who is in their PR team that's letting them leak such utter nonsense like this? Honestly, I tell you, you know me, I don't really get this infuriated. They wind me up so much as a club because I just do not understand it at all. I mean, Richarlison's comments are an absolute farce. I'd be embarrassed.
Petty. It's Team Petty the whole way when it comes to them. And I've been looking at it and I just think to myself, why? Like, I get, I mean, there's loads of little petty things I get with football fans, right? So I like Tony Bellew, the fighter, but I watched him on a show recently. He's on the League of Their Own, and he was on the red team.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't wear the red shirt. And I'm like, you do realize, I know Liverpool wear red, but you do realize like red is just a color. And it wouldn't wear it. The fact that Everton Santa Claus dress up in blue, things like that, I just think that's the inferiority complex. Like I would wear, I've got sky blue T-shirts. I don't think, oh no, man, shitty. Oh my God, it makes me look weak. I listen to the Beatles. That doesn't mean oh no, the Beatles are from Liverpool. Oh my God, that makes I'm weak. No, it's weak. It's like the reverse of being alpha when you're so intimidated by them. No, I'm not having red. I won't have anything red in my house at all. With nothing red at all? No. Not even red top milk. No, not even red top milk in my house. It's not happening. These people are weak. These people are genuinely weak. And it makes me laugh. But Stro, listen, I appreciate you coming on, mate. And we'll chat to you again soon. Take care, buddy.
See you soon.
None of the other Liverpool fans have turned up to talk. I mean, I know the game was that bad. Like, I know it was that bad. If you can, someone's like, I can come on if you want. And I'll just message back saying if they can. I thought I invited a few people, but yeah, I get why people don't want to. The link is inside the description below. If you want to come on and talk about this game in particular, come on and do it. I'd love to hear from you right now. But Liverpool fans, what did you make of the performance? Do you have any worries or concerns? Will the points record be something that doesn't happen now? Is that, and that might not be a concern for you at all. I'm just looking at it from a point of view of, I like the idea of making history. Does that make sense? If I'm going to win Salesman of the Year in my job, because I've been the best, but I've got a massive opportunity to break the sales record inside a year at the same time, and then I don't, even though I'm Salesman of the Year, I would still feel disappointed I didn't break the record that I had a great opportunity of breaking. It's why I'm bringing it up. I'm purely, it's like a reflection of my set, like what I would like to do in this situation. We've got Steve, and we're going to jump onto now in a fan cam. Let's see you all in just a second.
Wow. Here we go.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
All right, mate.
Yeah, I'm good. Who do you support?
Support Liverpool, mate.
Liverpool fan. What did you make of that performance?
Yeah. Wow, boring to be honest with you. I think it's now 3 times in a row we've drawn away to Everton 0-0. I think, and yeah, I'm at that stage where going to Goodison Park is just getting boring now and just used to it, really.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's not Liverpool's fault at all. I watched it, you tried, but they just played 4-4-2. They stuck all their players behind the ball. There was no real invention. It was weird as well, right? Because they were going long ball loads, but then they tried playing out from the back from goal kicks, but they'd make 3 passes around the back and then just go long again. I was watching thinking, is this Ancelotti, the legendary Ancelotti, or was Sam the manager?
I know, like, I mean, there was a few times where Trent was getting the ball a few times and he just lost it. And I was like, that's very unlike him. And, like, to be quite honest with you, I'm at that stage where we came back thinking, right, are we going to see Liverpool that can turn up now, you know, score the goals, Mo Salah, front three and all that kind of stuff. But no, you know, haven't got taken off Firmino for Origi was a bit strange for me. And only had Mane, Origi, and who was it? Oxen as front three. And then, you know, a few missed passes. And then if we just had a few clear-cut chances that would have been on target, I think we could have won that game. Maybe we could have won that game. And I thought, you know, it was a missed opportunity to be.
No, I can understand that. I think that from Liverpool's point of view, it's been 105, 106 days, I think, without a game. I respect that. I literally respect that from Liverpool's point of view. You tried, but it's very difficult after that amount of time out to open up, to have the energy to open a team up who had almost no desire to get forward. And if it hadn't been for a couple of Lovren mistakes, they wouldn't have even had their opportunities towards the end where they nearly went on to win the game. It's absolutely shocking, mate. But go on, mate, go on.
Yeah. Can I just say about Lovren? I've defended Lovren a few times back in the early part of the season. He started against City, right? And I thought he had a good game, to be quite honest with you. And he had a few good games this season. But ever since Watford till now, he has been absolutely shocking. And to be quite honest with you, I'm done with him, to be quite honest with you. You know, he's like the David Luiz, I think, like from that mistake he did against City. To be quite honest with you, people like Lovren and David Luiz are just average defenders at their best, and they're at their age now of 30 and 32, and they're not even getting better. And to be quite honest with you, I just sell Lovren now, to be quite honest with you. There's better out there, you know, to be as a fourth choice centre back, and you know, I'm just tired of him. Really, just sell him on now, to be quite honest with you.
Mate, do you know what? I appreciate that. Thank you very much for coming on, my friend. You take care of yourself. All the best, my man. Thank you. Cheers.
Mate. Thank you.
Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show. Liverpool nil, Everton nil. What's your reaction to the game?
Well, it could have been better, couldn't it? I mean, not being funny, but it was one of those things. If you're going to have a situation where you haven't played for 3 months, I'm not going to take too much from it. I mean, it's 5 points to go. You know, we'll get that result against Crystal Palace. I'm pretty sure we will. You know, we'll have Sadio back up and running with Salah. You know, Firmino is a little bit off the pace, but like I said, there's been a 3-month gap. I don't think there's too much to worry about at the moment.
No, I understand that. Do you have any concerns about the poor run of form hanging itself over into these last sort of 8 games as it been now? Are you worried about any of that setting in, or you just think, no, that was a blip, we're going to have no issues at all moving forward?
I don't think so, no. I think Crystal Palace will get the win. I think we'll draw possibly with City, and then it'll be just 1 point left to go. And, you know, but what's the next game after City? Do you know? I haven't got the list of fixtures in front of me.
I don't know, but I can have a look now. After City, you play Aston Villa, then you play Brighton, then you play Burnley. So, yeah, I mean, are you eager for Liverpool to break the points record, or is that something that is just a bonus, but you couldn't care less if it happened?
It is a bonus. Literally, it's a bonus. I mean, I'd like us. The first target for me would be to beat last season's tally. If we could beat last season's tally, then I'd be happy. So we get 98 plus.
Yeah.
You know, because then every year since Klopp has taken over, we've improved. We've got better year on year on year. So this is just another added step in our progression. You know, I don't see there being an issue, and I think we'll at least get a win against Aston Villa after the City game.
Yeah,
and then we can then relax a bit. And once we've got them 5 points, we can just go, right, that's it. breaks off. Let's
play a
go
game.
for it. Let's
Absolutely.
see what we can do.
I get that. Listen, mate, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much, Mike, and making your debut on the show. Chat to you again soon, buddy. Top man.
See you later. Bye.
Prime, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Jerry. Thanks.
Yeah, Everton nil, Liverpool nil. What's your reaction to the match and everything else that surrounds it?
I think it's kind of the same as all the other matches that have happened so far. Lack of match fitness and sharpness. You can see that Salah didn't start today. He was on the bench for them. I assumed that he'd come on late on and make a bit of an impact, but that didn't really happen. Ancelotti's plan seemed to just, keep it compact and go for the draw, and it worked. So I don't think there's much else that can come out from that. I think Liverpool, their next few games, or the next couple of games anyway, if things go in their favour, they can win the league. Get it wrapped up as soon as possible. That's
I get that. Well, getting a bit of...
Hello?
I think that can be... Yeah, I'm getting some playback. I'll just mute your mic while I talk in that bit, then we'll unmute when I'm not. Yeah, I agree. Like I say, I wouldn't be bothered if I was a Liverpool fan by the individual game. I just wouldn't. My only sort of fear, as I say, and this is me only sort of projecting how I would feel in that situation, is they've got this great opportunity to break this points record and go down in history. Yes, they've won. They might win it by a particular margin, but that isn't kind of a record people look at. When kids in 25 years go, I want to see what's the most amount of points everyone's ever got in the Premier League. Liverpool could have it. Champions in 2020 with 104 points. Maybe never, ever broken again. I mean, to break it would be almost impossible. And that's just something where I love legacy and I love history. And I think you can create yourself something which arguably nobody else is going to do again. And that's the one thing about the Invincible season and another thing about the treble season. These things are so difficult to achieve that they live on. They live on forever, and it's just something that I think would be an added bonus. But maybe I'm looking at it I'm not looking at it emotionally. Maybe Liverpool fans just don't care whether they do that or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume they do care because they've been talking about how amazing, phenomenal this Liverpool team is, better than the Invincibles or United's treble winning team and everything. So in the last 7 games in all competitions, they haven't looked that great. And to play this sort of style that Jurgen Klopp plays, they have to be at their physical peak. We saw how long it took them to get to this point, or get to even the point last season. And I think the fact that they're so far ahead and they don't have that many points to do to at least get over the line and win the league is a good thing in their favour. But how long is it going to take? Their next game, if they lose that and maybe they get a point in their next game and City keep winning, will something creep into their heads of this could get nervy, maybe we could lose it?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I would probably look at, again, this is just me thinking out loud. If I'm a Liverpool fan now, I would want to see us get better over the next few games, beat a record, win the league and then end the season with some confidence. Because a lot of your rivals, and Chelsea, I doubt they're going to overturn the deficit to Bayern Munich as an example. But you're going to have Man United and you're going to have City. They're going to be going into the European tournaments that are going to be in August. They're going to be buying players as well. There could be quite a few rivals that could end this season on a bit of a buzz. I don't think Liverpool want to be ending this season on a negative, even though they're winning the league. And I don't think Liverpool want to be going into a short pre-season with loads of issues surrounding them. The lack of transfer activity may then creep in because it's fans. Fans play a big part in this, the nervousness that comes up and everything else that comes with it. If Liverpool, by the way, smash Palace, beat City, and then win the majority of their remaining games and look great again, this conversation becomes completely, to coin the phrase, null and void. It means nothing. But I'm just sort of looking at it. And look, today may have just been a massive part of Everton being negative for 105 days without a game. But Liverpool will want to bounce back because if they get 2 or 3 games into this run, they still don't look like themselves. People will say, hang on, are Liverpool being found out? And that's the conversation that will happen, because there were some people mentioning that around the bad periods with Atletico, and then the Watford game. And of course, you beat Bournemouth, but were lucky maybe, or you weren't at your best. So I think Liverpool will, and they may not want to say this publicly, but I think they'll want to just blow the cobwebs out and do what they've got to do. But Prime, mate, listen, I appreciate you coming on and having your say, and we'll chat to you again soon. Listen, everyone who's tuned in today, a massive, massive thank you to all of you for doing that. We really appreciate it. Back tomorrow with more content for you. We're going to have some tactical breakdowns of this weekend's football, looking at Paul Pogba, amongst other games as well. We were going to do one on the Everton-Liverpool game. That's not happening. I'm not breaking that game down. I'm not rewatching that game. I'm not thinking about that game ever again, because I think I'd rather put bleach in my eyes than watch that game. I mean it. It was, and I stand by this comment, the worst game I've ever seen in the Premier League. And not because tactically it was the worst game, but from the point of view of this, it's a Merseyside derby. And do you know what? The onus wasn't on Liverpool to make this game brilliant. It was Everton's job. It's your cup final. You bottled it. I don't care about 105 days out. You tried nothing. You were weak. Flaccid. Do you know what I mean? Like impotent, bruv. Need that Viagra in your life. Viagra FC. Listen, everyone who tuned in, thank you. Take care of yourselves. God bless. And we'll see you all